Before I start this video, I want to say that Frozen 2 is actually a good Disney sequel. And you've probably already read the title, but now you know that I think it's better than the original. And with that fact on the line, I want to say that a lot of movies have good sequels, and a lot of movies have sequels that are better than the original. Not Disney. Most of the time, Disney sequels are just milking what is already done good, and the sequel is therefore not good. Now, despite its little success, the movie has so many good parts to it that I'm gonna dive right into. Also, quick disclaimer, spoiler warning. Duh.
And yet change mocks us with her beauty.
What's that?
Some overall things. I think the songs were better in the sequel than they were in the first movie. That's just a personal opinion. And I know they will never live up to the hype that was the first movie. That was insane. I think the overall writing within the story is much better than the first movie. A lot of the first movie was told within the songs. Yes, the narrative mattered a little bit, but not nearly as much as the storytelling that was told through the music. If you just listen to the soundtrack of the first movie, you kind of know what's going on in the story. It's not really a convoluted plot. In Frozen 2, the songs mattered, but they focused a lot more on the narrative too. And they even made the songs that they did put in the movie just more emotional. So I thought, is there a different screenwriter? Because some of these jokes are dark. The screenplay, or the script, is actually written by the same person, but the story was actually worked on by 2 extra people in the second movie. And those 2 people were, you guessed it, the songwriters from the first movie. So I thought, maybe that has something to do with it. It's kind of a complex story. Well, not really, it's a Disney movie, but more complex than the first one. And I think they did a really good job at showing that in the narrative and the songs as a good balance.
Can I borrow your wagon? And Sven?
I'm not very comfortable with the idea of that.
Frozen 2, Frozen Roman numeral 2 takes place 3 years after the events of the first movie. Elsa has been Queen of Arendelle for about 3 years now. Kristoff and Anna are happily in love. Olaf is living his best life in his new permafrost, which explains why he's able to withstand all the changing temperatures throughout the movie. Probably because they didn't want to animate that flurry cloud that they introduced at the end of the last one the entire time, so they said permafrost, why not? And Sven is Sven. Now we see a flashback of their parents when they were still alive, telling Anna and Elsa a story about the forest. Their father tells them what happened in the forest, and the mother sings a lullaby about the forest. This is where the first song is coming to play. It's good, it's simple, it's a nice introduction song. I think the singer is very cute. She's Evan? Rachel Wood. Do you hear that? That's the radiator in my building about to explode. Some things never change. And this is the start of where the movie started talking about a little bit of a darker subject, but what I picked up from that song was the message of mortality. Because Olaf is talking about how Anna is so old, and Anna starts singing about how some things will never change even though we are getting older. I think it's a nice little message to slip in there to hide behind a happy song, because even though we are all mortal, we all will die someday, we're happy now, and some things never change. Like the way I'm holding on tight to you. Yeah, this was the song of the movie. Now keep in mind, going into this movie, I didn't know a damn thing. And after watching the whole movie, even though I thought the soundtrack was good, I didn't think there was a song per se. Like the big hit, Let It Go, that was the song. And everyone knew it, whether you knew it going into the movie or not. You knew after seeing that movie that Let It Go was the hit song. I didn't feel that there was a hit song, but apparently it was marketed that way. I changed my camera position. Hey. So problems start happening. They have to go to the forest that their mother sang about to them when they were children and fix the problems. And when they get to the forest, Olaf has his song, which is short, it's cute. It's kind of like the summer song he had from the first movie, just his little 2-minute hit, and I love it. So the group comes in, they find these 2 groups of people, the guards from Arendelle and the forest people. They meet them. What they find out when going into the forest is that they have to appease these 4 spirits, and at this point Elsa has calmed the wind spirit, and after the fight she calms the salamander, the fire spirit. He's so cute. I love him, unnamed salamander. You were my favorite. And it's at this point in the movie where Elsa meets the girl. So the whole movie I was like looking for that scene, like that moment. I was like, it's gotta come. Like, when's it gonna come? I missed it. I missed it because it was literally like a 3-second long clip of her saying hi to another girl. I think it would have been very cool if Elsa had a girlfriend. If they do Frozen 3, I think they should absolutely at least give her a significant other. The girl has been alone for her whole life. But the thing that made Frozen 2 special was Elsa finding out who she is and answering those plot holes from the first movie. Who is Elsa? Where did her powers even come from? That's what this is answering. Elsa doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know why she has her powers. She doesn't know what she's supposed to do. And that's what this movie is all about. It's all about Elsa and figuring herself out. So I feel like if they put in a significant other, it would take away from that, and the effect wouldn't be as strong as it is. Actually, a quote by Josh Gad himself, the voice of Olaf. He says, quote, "The directors wanted to tell a story that didn't necessarily feel like it was about Elsa necessarily searching for or looking for love. It was more about Elsa embracing Elsa, and it was more about self-love. It's not to say that the journey can't still happen in the future. I think in this movie, what they really wanted to do was answer some unanswered questions for her character who didn't have the time in the first film to really know who she was." So there you have it. I don't think it was necessary to give Elsa a girlfriend. It would have been a nice little touch, but I think the story and the true message behind it stands better as it is now, as she is just focusing on herself. And who knows, maybe in Frozen 3, which is a very high possibility considering the movie made $750 million in a week, maybe they will hook Elsa up with that forest nature girl. Or maybe the directors wanted to leave it up to imagination instead. Sometimes leaving an ambiguous ending in a movie is much better than getting clear answers. But not for Disney. We need to know what happens. Moving onward, as I mentioned earlier, wait, I don't think I mentioned this at all. The whole movie, Kristoff is trying to find a way to propose to Anna. But obviously he gets tripped up at every turn and doesn't end up proposing until happily ever after. But this is where the best song in the movie comes in. I think it has the perfect amount of cringe from a 70s love song as it needs to have. In this part of the movie, I think Kristoff has a lot more important role. Now, you might be thinking, he didn't do shit. He saved Anna like one time maybe and fawned over her the rest of the time. I disagree. I think Kristoff is our sense of reality here. He's just a dude. We're in a world with girls with magic hands, princesses, and talking snowmen. We need a grasp on reality, and that's what Kristoff is for. He's very much just a dude, and I love that about him. He kind of reminds us, hey, we're all human, we can all be cringy. So, in total, cringiest character goes to Kristoff! But also the most real character, in my opinion. I honestly prefer the Disney movies where the love interest is just a guy and not a prince. I love the guys like Aladdin and Flynn Rider and Kristoff. Not that I don't love movies with princesses and princes, but there's something humbling about the characters like Kristoff, and it's charming. I think the camera angle changed again, I'm not sure. There's some other plot details that I'm not going to mention that it's not necessary to this review, so you can check out the movie if you haven't already. After Kristoff does his song, some narrative, and Elsa sings another song. And this one, in my opinion, was the song of the movie. It was powerful, it was really emotional, you could feel what she was feeling. It was almost like relatable in a sense. Overall, I think the lyrics in this soundtrack were a lot more powerful. You can really see it in these songs. I think Show Yourself had more of an impact on me because it was later in the movie, and it included her deceased mother, so it just made it that much better than Into the Unknown. Some lyrics from her songs include, "Are you someone out there who's a little bit like me, who knows deep down I'm not where I'm meant meant to be. Every day's a little harder as I feel my power grow. Don't you know there's part of me that longs to go? I have always been in a fortress, cold secrets deep inside. I've never felt so certain all my life I've been torn. But I'm here for a reason. Could it be the reason I was born? Going into my point earlier, this whole movie is about Elsa trying to find herself and her purpose, what she's supposed to do in life. I think the lyrics are a lot stronger and deeper. And not just for Elsa. The darkest song in the entire movie comes from Anna. I haven't felt sad in a Disney movie in a long time, even though I knew there was going to be a happy ending because, let's face it, it's a Disney movie, it's kind of predictable, but I was still sad. Anna and Olaf are together in this cave and Olaf starts to fade away and they start thinking about how some things never change. The happy song from the beginning of the movie. No, happy things, some things never change. I'm always holding on tight to you. And then they're hugging. They're upset, but they're hugging. And then a few minutes later, it goes back to Anna in the cave, hugging herself. Olaf not there. And that is dark. And it goes into her singing a song that's about her depression and how she lost one of her very good friends. I'm gonna be honest, in the movie up until this point, I was like, Anna is useless. She's not doing a damn thing. She was kind of there for comedic relief, but not really. Is she just a person for Elsa to talk to? Through this depression that she's feeling, she's able to break the dam and she knows that's what has to happen. And she's able to make that hard decision. She knows it'll destroy her town. She knows her townspeople are safe, but she knows it'll destroy her town. In the face of complete and utter sadness, she does it. Then Elsa comes back riding on a horse and stops the water from reaching the town. To be honest, I thought it would have been better if they destroyed the town and Elsa didn't go and save it. Everyone was safe because they were evacuated. I think if they destroyed the town, it would have had a lot bigger effect on the movie. But the gods didn't want to destroy it. No, they wanted to destroy it, but Elsa stopped it. But she is the god. She's able to connect the spirits of water, earth, fire, and air.
Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony.
Yeah, Elsa's basically the avatar in this movie. I think it would have been cooler if they destroyed the town, rebuild it with Anna as the new queen of Arendelle, so it kind of represents her era in place of Elsa living in the forest as the avatar. I don't know what they call her. The fifth spirit, I guess.
Unredeemable monster!
Greatest mistake of your life! We didn't even kiss you!
But overall, it is a happy ending, and there's no final song. So the last song you're presented with is basically Anna dealing with her depression. That's fine, because then the credits roll and you hear Brendan Urie in his lovely voice. Overall, the second movie was there to clear up some plot holes from the first one, especially what happened with their parents and why Elsa is the way she is. In the second movie, they actually give Anna a pretty big role at the end and make her a hero. By the way, they really played up the sisterly love in this movie, way more than the first one. You can really tell how much these two care about each other. Also, I have to say, 90% of the budget of this film went into Elsa's animation. They glorified her like no other. They saw the success behind Elsa in the first movie, and they tried to replicate that by glorifying her to filth. Well, there you have it. That's a review of Frozen. That's why it's better than the first one. Obviously, there's always going to be problems with a movie. You can love it. There's always going to be like something wrong with it if you're critical. But nevertheless, I really enjoyed the movie, and I think you will too if you go watch it. Well, you've probably already seen it if you made it this far in the video. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you like me, my geeky glasses, and my shitty-ass dorm room, then we would like to see you back on the channel. And thank you again for watching. I'm probably going to do some music covers on that soundtrack because I am obsessed with it. Into the end. Alright, I'm gonna turn off the camera before my roommate awkwardly walks in on me talking to a camera. Bye. I also wanted to point out I have notes for this video, and looking back at him, I wrote Olaf as Loaf. That made me laugh. I don't know why.